Have you ever stopped to think about something as, well, as fundamental as concrete? I mean, it's literally everywhere, under our feet, holding up our cities, our bridges, just shaping how we live. But what if I told you there's this extraordinary version of it, a kind of silent revolution happening right now that's changing how we build? Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're doing a deep dive into something pretty remarkable. Ultra-high performance concrete. You'll hear it called UHPC. We're going to explore where it stands right now, pinpoint where it's making the biggest waves, and look ahead at what the future holds for this really cutting-edge material. And our insights, they come straight from the global UHPC market, a regional revenue outlook to 2033 report, is packed with fascinating data, really. Our mission, like always, is to give you a shortcut, help you get properly well-informed about this key, fast-moving sector. And look, this isn't just about the numbers game. It's about understanding these huge shifts happening in construction and infrastructure all across the world.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, I think, beyond just the impressive market figures themselves, is that UHPC isn't just stronger concrete. I mean, yes, the strength is incredible, no doubt, but it really represents a fundamental shift. We're talking advanced, super durable, and increasingly more sustainable solutions. These are becoming absolutely critical, for tackling modern building and infrastructure challenges. If you usually just picture concrete as like gray and brittle, UHPC completely flips that idea on its head. We'll look at the data, and it's pretty compelling stuff, showing us exactly where this demand is exploding globally, and maybe more importantly, why it matters for how our world's getting built.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this at the global level first, because the scale is genuinely impressive. So the UHPC market globally pulled in a pretty significant $410.491 million back in 2021. That's a solid foundation, if you'll pardon the pun there. But here's where it gets really interesting, the trajectory. Projecting forward, it's expected to climb up to $535.46 million by 2025, and then we'll hold on to your hard hats because it's forecast to almost double again to a really impressive $911.1116 million by 2033. That kind of consistent upward climb isn't just a blip, right? It translates to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 6.87%. Now, for a foundational material like concrete, and almost 7% annual growth. That's not just fast. It's really a testament to its growing adoption across, well, the whole spectrum of uses. We're talking everything from critical infrastructure bridges, tunnels, to big commercial construction projects, and even really intricate, resilient architectural designs.
Exactly. And that raises a pretty important question for anyone watching, the future of construction. What does an almost 7% annual growth rate for a material like concrete actually tell us about how we're going to build things moving forward? Fundamentally, it speaks to a global recognition of UHPC's really unique properties. It's not just about its incredible compressive strength, which is like multiple times higher than conventional concrete, but also its remarkable ductility and durability. Now, when we say ductility in concrete, maybe for those who think of concrete as just rigid and brittle, what we mean is its ability to deform, maybe bend slightly under stress without just snapping or failing immediately. Think less like a rigid brick, maybe more like a tough, reinforced steel beam in a way. This is often done by mixing in high-performance steel fibers. So this property, combined with how well it resists harsh environments, means structures built with UHPC can handle extreme conditions much better. Things like earthquakes or corrosive salt spray in marine environments. Better than traditional stuff. And that translates directly into lower maintenance costs over time, and it contributes to more sustainable, longer-lasting infrastructure globally. It's not just picking a material, it's really an investment in the long-term resilience of, well, everything we build.
That's a crucial difference, isn't it? The idea of concrete that can actually bend a bit rather than just break. It really changes the game. Okay, so we've established this silent revolution is definitely global, and its unique properties are driving it. But like any big shift, it has its hotspots, right? Regions where things are moving fastest, because not all growth is spread evenly, and some parts of the world are really leading the charge here. Let's zero in on those key geographical accelerators. Where's the action really happening? First up, Asia Pacific. It's clearly the dominant force in the UHPC market right now. This region held the largest slice of the pie, ringing in at $126.021 million back in 2021. And the projections, it's set to reach $171.027 million in 2025, and then a really substantial $309.445 million by 2033. That's a strong 7.692% CAGR. It really points to a powerhouse of construction and innovation.
Yeah, and if we connect that to the bigger picture, Asia Pacific's huge growth is, well, it's incredibly multifaceted and strategic. You're seeing rapid urbanization across massive populations, huge infrastructure projects supporting these booming economies, and a really strong proactive push to modernize older structures too. Within the region, China, as you might expect, leads the pack, $50.511 million in 2021 and an impressive 7.834% CAGR. But here's what's truly fascinating, I think, and where we see some of the most concentrated potential. India's projected growth, it's actually one of the highest globally, starting at $16.521 million in 2021. It's forecast to nearly triple to $44.553 million by 2033. That's with an outstanding 8.374% CAGR. And this isn't just, organic growth happening by itself. India, for example, you've got this intense drive for earthquake-resistant buildings and rapidly expanding cities, plus ambitious high-speed rail projects, the need for super durable bridges across all sorts of terrain. It makes UHPC's unique mixed strength, ductility, low maintenance, not just a nice-to-have, but often a critical need. Singapore also shows really sharp growth, 8.271% CAGR, which makes sense given its focus on innovative, high-density urban development. These numbers aren't just figures on a page. They point to significant, sustained strategic infrastructure work across these economies. A real confidence in adopting UHPC for the long haul, for resilience.
It's incredible, isn't it? How specific national priorities really translate into market demand for these advanced materials. Okay, let's move across the globe now. Let's look at North America. This region accounted for a significant $119.453 million in 2021, growing steadily too at a 6.557% CAGR, projected to reach $256.186 million by 2033. The United States, being the largest economy, predictably leads the way here in just overall market size, driven by its massive need for infrastructure, repair, and of course, new builds.
Right. While the U.S. is definitely a major player, what really stands out in North America, and this might surprise some folks, it's Mexico's impressive growth rate. From a base of about $9.1 million, $9.138 million in 2021, it's expected to surge to $25.757 million by 2033. That's backed by an outstanding 8.304% CAGR. That's higher than India's. Now, this isn't just slow and steady growth. This points to rapid adoption. Significant investment in high-performance construction down in Mexico. We're likely seeing this driven by maybe new industrial facilities, expanding commercial hubs, ambitious public works projects that really prioritize resilience and longevity, perhaps in response to specific environmental challenges they face or just meeting the demands of fast economic development. It's a really compelling story of an emerging market truly embracing advanced construction techniques.
That shift in Mexico is definitely something to keep an eye on. Wow. All right, let's journey over to Europe now. This continent contributed $104.265 million to the UHPC market back in 2021, and it's projected to reach $217.319 million by 2033. That's with a solid 6.425% CAGR. We see countries like Germany and the UK as strong contenders, as you'd expect. Germany at $23.668 million in 2021 with a 6.58% CAGR. The UK, $16.378 million in 2021 with a 6.836% CAGR. But here's where we uncover a really fascinating little statistical quirk.
Indeed. Yeah, while established economies like Germany and the UK show that solid, consistent growth, the data reveals this compelling outlier. It really speaks volumes about where innovation can pop up. The rest of Europe segment, now this lumps together various smaller or emerging markets not listed separately, is projected to be the fastest growing part of Europe. We're talking massive 16.272% CAGR.
16%?
16%. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the growth rate of the overall European market. It's expected to just soar from only $1.358 million in 2021 to an impressive $8.788 million by 2033. This rest of Europe surge is such a compelling data point. It strongly suggests highly concentrated activity, maybe very specific, perhaps niche applications driving just exceptional demand? Could it be, a few massive specialized infrastructure projects like a groundbreaking architectural landmark or maybe an advanced research facility or even critical retrofits of, say, aging heritage structures where you need ultimate durability with minimal disruption? The report implies that innovation and rapid adoption aren't just happening in the biggest economies. Luxembourg also shows strong growth, 7.529%, which again emphasizes this kind of regional diversity in how UHPC is being picked up.
Well, the 16% CAGR in the rest of Europe, then it really is astonishing. It hints at these bespoke, high-impact projects, like you say. It really shows that even in established markets, you can find these unexpected pockets of explosive growth, probably driven by very particular needs. Okay, now let's quickly touch on some other vital regions that are part of this global shift. The Middle East, for instance, it shows really robust growth, projected to nearly double from $20.114 million in 2021 up to $47.093 million by 2033. That's with a strong 7.407% CAGR.
That's right. Saudi Arabia leads the Middle East market, contributing a big chunk of that, reflecting its, Vision 2030 and those ambitious mega projects they have underway. But similar to Europe, the rest of Middle East segment also shows remarkable expansion. A 10.172% CAGR here, reaching $2.637 million by 2033 from just $0.865 million in 2021. Again, this points to concentrated high-impact developments, probably in emerging markets within that region. It suggests a strategic embrace of UHPC for ambitious, often climate-resilient construction. The UAE and Qatar also show strong growth, reflecting that whole region's push towards modern, iconic, and importantly, durable infrastructure.
And just looking broader still, in South America, the market's growing steadily. Brazil leads the charge there, being the largest economy.
Yeah.
In Africa, South Africa demonstrates stronger growth, a 6.038% CAGR, outpacing Nigeria. It really is a global story unfolding, isn't it, across every single continent?
These figures, taken together, they really illustrate that the demand for UHPC isn't just stuck in the traditional economic powerhouses or regions you'd normally associate with adopting advanced materials first. It's truly a global phenomenon now, driven by this universal need for better, more efficient construction materials. It's about building stronger, building more sustainably, and definitely building with an eye towards the future, no matter where you are geographically. From resisting earthquakes in Asia, like we talked about, to handling intense desert heat in the Middle East, UHPC is proving its versatility, proving its essential role in the next generation of infrastructure, really.
So let's bring it all together. What does this all mean for you, listening in, curious about where the world is heading and, well, how it's literally being built? We've seen this impressive, consistent, and really widespread global expansion of the UHPC market. It's clearly not just some niche product anymore, is it? It's rapidly becoming a mainstream solution for critical high-performance applications.
Yeah, the key takeaway seems pretty clear. The market for ultra-high-performance concrete is expanding everywhere, across all regions, and it's fueled by this undeniable demand for advanced, durable, and sustainable construction solutions. And it's those really high-growth pockets we talked about, like India and Singapore, in Asia-Pacific, Mexico jumping out North America, that surprising rest of Europe surge driven by specialized projects, and the rest of Middle East, too. So those areas really highlight where the future of high-performance construction isn't just being discussed, it's actively being forged and built right now. These are the places to watch for the most innovative applications for accelerated adoption, and they hint at a global shift in what we fundamentally expect from our building materials.
This deep dive into the ultra-high-performance concrete market really does show a clear global shift towards smarter, stronger, and more resilient building materials. It's a fascinating story of innovation meeting the growing needs of our world, shaping the very foundations of our future. One ductile structure at a time, you could say.
And maybe consider this provocative thought to leave you with. With such rapid, concentrated growth happening in specific emerging regions, what does that tell us about the future global distribution of major infrastructure projects, and how might these shifts in where advanced materials are most eagerly adopted, how might that impact material science and engineering innovations worldwide? Could it even shift the center of innovation itself? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for this insightful exploration into the world of UHPC. We certainly hope you feel even more well-informed about this silent revolution in construction.